I just want to say I am such a good friend and co-host because I just spent the last 5 hours sitting right in front of this little laptop talking to upwards of 12 journalists on a press day. And now I'm here with you.
It does feel like you wanted to brag and say that you talked to 12 journalists on a press day.
I mean, humbly, but also
humbly.
I will say I took every single opportunity to like make it fun and have a conversation. But by like number 10, I was like, I cannot talk anymore. And that's like crazy for me.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you see anybody do press junket work, like you see the fatigue set in. It's like, oh, this was the 30th one they did that day, and that they just are resentful of the activity and kind of shooting down any pitch that's happening in that moment.
Yeah, like Blake Lively. She was just kind of rude to a journalist that like was just being nice, but putting myself in her position. I mean, I'm not here to justify or not justify Blake Lively. That's not what is it? A rock I'll die on?
The hill you'll die on.
Oh, Blake Lively's not the hill I'm going to die on. But like, I can empathize with having to smile and like sell yourself and your project to 30 people in a row. And like, like it gets exhausting.
It's always exhausting to have to be a version of yourself. Like it's not, they don't want the real you. They want the you that gets a click.
Yeah.
What is the you that gets a click?
Hi everyone, I'm Joanna and I have some shit to say.
Oh no.
Spanish is crazy and Kris doesn't know it. So he's going to interject and say something dumb here. That's when I used to get clicks.
The sad part is that if we open with this right now as the cleanest thing, this will have 10 times the amount of views and people finally saying, they're back to doing what we like.
Yeah, now they're like, why are they sad and talking for an hour?
Kris and Joanna are close friends with nothing in common. To start a weekly conversation, they ask, can I have a word?
I miss the days when we were like, yeah, 5-minute little videos, written, edited, yeah, jump cuts, la 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 la. And now we're like, we're too old for that. I mean, I'm not too old. I'm not too old.
You would never dare say that you're too old.
Never in the life. I'm going to be 97 and be like, I don't know. I feel like the old people don't get me. And it's like the old people are 10 years younger than you. Well, here you go.
I'm going to be 97 and I will be a mummy.
I feel like you're going to really fully enjoy being old.
How long do you think I got?
To live?
Yeah, in general.
Is this a conversation we're having right now?
This is cold open fodder. How much time you think I actually got on this? You've seen my lifestyle.
No, I think you're pretty healthy, actually. I'd say you're going to live to 90.
90?
Although you're tall though.
Wait, is there like trivia that you know about where tall people can't live that long?
Tall people live less than short people. There's more cells that can go wrong. And then the structure of your body, the skeleton and there's just more gravity on it. It's just, it's a rougher life. Like the only grandpa I have alive right now is Papote, and that man is 5'1".
Wait, is your source for this just the height of grandpas versus how long they've lived? Or do you actually you did read it?
No, Kris. My source for this is Instagram news. So
Good.
So it's legitimate. Our era of internet when millennials were running the thing is so different than now.
Yes.
Like Gen Z has taken over the internet in a way that I'm like, okay, well, I have to adapt.
Algorithms taken over the internet. Everybody else just plays a part now.
I mean, that's true.
Like it used to be. God, this is so old. I'm throwing rocks at geese on the porch right now. This is how old I sound. But there was just a time and a place where you had a frontier. You had a plot of land in the internet that said, here, come look. And everybody would come browse like they were at a garage sale looking at your wares. And now you have to feed into a machine that just gives it out to people.
The algorithm is like this mysterious thing. Everyone talks about the algorithm. No one knows how it works. No one knows what like makes it tick. I was watching a New York Times documentary. There's TikTok creator houses where TikTok creators like all live in the same house and just like, it's like a sweatshop for content, honestly.
Yes.
It's like the most, it's such a bizarre, like if you had shown this to a Victorian child, they would have collapsed.
Excuse me, sir. What is that magic panel you have in your hand?
Oh, you're talking about my phone, little child? I'm going to dance to it now as if I was possessed by a devil.
Wow, that's great. I have rickets.
New York Times charted the journey of all these kids, and all of these kids in this particular house in Atlanta were African American. They interviewed this woman, and she has like bright pink hair, and she's like, "Why do you think I have bright pink hair? It's not because I like it, but the algorithm prefers bright colors, and since I'm already black, the algorithm doesn't prefer me."
Wow.
So the fucking algorithm is so like, it's mysterious, but it's also like racist.
But what's interesting to hear about that is that way that you sort of said it is how people talk about it with such confidence. Well, the algorithm does this, or the algorithm does that.
Right.
It's almost like a form of mysticism that exists out there where it's like, well, if I offer my services to the algorithm will reward me with kind, bright futures.
Algorithm is like the internet god. No one understands it. Everyone accepts that it exists, or maybe there's some people that don't believe in it. The alga atheist. I think it is this like very abstract idea that you can also put everything on. So yeah, I mean, maybe it's TikTok, like some people at TikTok that are actually not favoring these videos, and they're just blaming the algorithm, and it's not the algorithm. Who knows? I don't know how it works.
I don't know. If you want to keep blaming the algorithm, let's start our show and say, welcome to Can I Have a Word? A 40-minute long show typically. Algorithm doesn't like 40 minutes.
Nope.
Can I Have a Word's pretty simple. Joanna and I just pick a random word off of a random word generator online, and then we talk.
Hell yeah.
Easy?
Easy?
Was that an impression of me?
Yeah.
Easy?
Okay, so then now I have to ask you the prompt.
Yeah. We haven't gotten any slicker about this.
Hey, Kris, can I have a word?
Every syllable picked a different impression.
Honestly, I pivoted several times. I was like, I'm going to sing it. And then I was like, no. And then I'm like, I'm an announcer. And then I was like, okay, no, wait, back to singing.
The word is rehabilitation.
Jesus.
I know, it's the longest syllabled one we'd had so far.
When I was between the ages of 18 and 24, there was a rehabilitation clinic in Massachusetts. Their phone number was one number off from my phone number. And about 7 to 15 times a day, I would get calls from people going like, hey, is this where I should rehab? I'm like, what? For like the first few years, I was like, this is such a mystery. And then I like Googled it, and I was like, oh, their number is one number off from mine. And I guess people that are looking for rehab might not look at.
They might be a touch strung out when they're dialing the 7-digit number.
Yes.
Yeah.
And keep on fucking up and calling me.
And so I remembered this. I don't remember how you like handled it long term. Like, was it always just like, if I don't recognize the number, I hang up? Or did you start just making a bit of it?
I started making a bit of it, but then I was like, oh, wait, these people are like calling for a rehab clinic. Like if it was like a Trader Joe's, I'd be like, I'm Trader Joanna. But like, you know, I was like, oh, I think these people are calling in like a very bad time in their life, or like, so I quickly pivoted to, I've said pivoted so many times in this conversation.
We are becoming
what is
caricatures.
Going on? Anyway.
Just get tune out of it. It's fine. I'll edit half of them out.
Okay, perfect. Then I just like every time there's a 617 number, I don't pick up.
You just decided to like back out of it altogether.
Sometimes the same number calls me 7 times. But anyway, I didn't know what a rehab clinic was at that age. But then when I was 21, I had a really bad bike accident. Mm-hmm. I broke both my arms. My right arm was so pulverized, they had to rebuild it. After several months, I had to go to rehab.
Yes.
And I was like so confused.
So
I was like, wait, what the fuck? What do you mean I have to go to rehab?
You had learned about like an alcohol rehab or a drug rehab facility, but you hadn't learned that like there were rehabs for all sorts of things.
And like, to be fair, I feel like the only rehabs, regular people that have never had to go to any type of rehab, listen, it's like Britney Spears has checked herself into rehab. Right. You know, Matthew Perry escaped his rehab. Like, that's it's like the most interesting type of rehab. It's like when you find out that Ashton Kutcher has a twin.
He has a twin?
And it's like, I didn't know. Yes.
I didn't know that. That's way more interesting.
Ashton Kutcher has a freaking twin.
Do you think Ashton Kutcher and his brother, right? Brother or the sister?
Brother.
Do they do like a Freaky Friday swap? And it's like, I'm married to Mila Kunis.
No, they're not identical.
Oh.
They're not identical.
Whenever you find one that's not identical, it's way less interesting.
It's just you just happen to be born at the same. You're not the same genetic person.
No. Your mom just got like a bargain rate.
2 for 1.
I think I was aware of physical rehab earlier than drug and alcohol rehab because I remember as a kid watching movies where like somebody had like gotten in a car accident and they're doing the whole like can they walk again sequence of like where they're holding onto the 2 bars and they're struggling to figure it out, and then in a montage it's solved, as all good movies make it happen. But so I think I had the concept in my head, but that's interesting that none of this ever hit your life.
No, none of it ever hit my life. And then when I did the rehab, now I know why in movies they always do the like, oh my God, he can walk, because when you destroyed your arms, it's so much less climactic.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, try and move the cup. So it's like moving a cup from one place to another. It's so not interesting.
I've never done a physical rehab. I have done physical therapy, which is like an easygoing version of that. But I had lower back pain from like an accident or something. And I just remember being in the physical therapy place and all of the positions and work that I had to do were so like demoralizing and lazy. Like it was a lot of like, get on all fours on this table and like just do like hunching your back actions.
I honestly don't want to ever imagine you doing that.
Well, interestingly enough, we were working together at the time I was doing this, and we had a coworker who was also in physical therapy in the same spot, and I had to directly tell her, please, I don't need you to look at me doing this right now. It's a lot of like splaying my ass out to a room, and I don't need you to bring that with you to a meeting at 10.
I have to say, there are certain things and places that I'm like, no person from any other aspect of my life can see me here.
Absolutely couldn't agree with you more. What are your top 3?
Definitely rehab.
Yeah.
I was looking like an idiot and I was like crying all the time because I was like, I don't want to know it,
It's incredibly vulnerable to go and do that.
So vulnerable. I think like a dressing room.
Okay. Uh-huh.
When you're trying clothes on and you have to walk out to like see it in the big mirror and you're like, maybe my ass looks like shit and maybe my boobs are gonna pop out, but I gotta go take this risk. If I see someone like an executive I've worked with standing there, I would run away with the shitty clothes on and be charged with theft.
You would be running through the store and all of those little security alarms would be beep, beep, beeping as you walk around, drawing more attention to how the dress doesn't fit, right?
Okay, how about you? What place about you?
Likewise rehabilitation, but probably even more so the gym. I mean, I'm not a person that works out, so maybe this is my own sensitivities coming to light, but I've never comprehended the idea of like, let's just start working out together. I'm sweaty, I'm weak. I'm like, I feel pathetic at every point in time. I'm not enjoying this. I don't need other people to witness me in this moment.
Interesting. I don't feel so bad at the gym.
You're far more fit than I am.
I don't know about that. I mean, probably.
I mean, Joanna, I don't want to dare cross any lines in our relationship, but you're working it.
Oh my God, this is the first time in your freaking life you've ever like sort of insinuated
that I see you as a feminine
that
creature.
You see me as a full body and you like clock it.
Let's document it. Let's move on.
Yeah, this never happened, but it did happen.
This never happened, but let's just say Kris Knight isn't going hiking in yoga pants anytime soon. You know what I mean?
I go hiking in yoga pants.
You're in yoga pants a lot. And your LAU has been showing a lot more abs.
Yeah, well, I have abs now, which is
That's what
fun.
I'm saying.
But here's the thing. You land in LA, you sign your rent, your rent agreement, and then all of a sudden your brain goes, you have to get hotter or they'll kick you out.
Yeah. There is an entrance fee that you are indebted to.
If you are not hot enough, you will be removed from the city. That's how I feel. In New York, it's like have a great personality and like read the New Yorker once in a while. And here it's like you gotta be hot.
And if you go to Miami, it's like you have to take out a bunch of loans to do the surgeries right away. And then you owe some Tom Nook-esque loan shark to pay for it.
I love that. That's why I love Miami.
Oh, I don't want to go with people to a barbecue joint.
It's too messy.
I don't want, like, yeah, I'm fine sharing a meal with people. I love sharing a meal. But when food is like inherently, I'm going to look feral at the end result of having eaten it, especially with a beard. This is very much a beard thing.
Right.
You get sauce stuck in there. It's like, I don't want you to see me eat a bowl of cereal either, because I'll get like milk in places. Like I'll feel embarrassed.
Eating is vulnerable. Like I went out with a lunch. Went out with lunch? No, I went out for lunch with like someone that I respect very much, like this like very, very successful producer. And the food arrived. And the way he ate, I was like, were you raised by cavemen? It was like he grabbed, like my perception of him shifted.
You immediately make a judgment about every other part of his life based on this one part.
He held the knife as if he was going to stab someone in the back with it, and then the fork grasping onto it as if it was the last like treasured item in his life. And I'm like, what the fuck?
This is how the Flintstones write. Like, this is not real. Like, you shouldn't hold anything like this.
But like, I think it's so interesting that I've seen, like, because my other place is a airplane, especially like an airplane where I want to take a nap in. I don't want anyone to see me asleep ever. I hate.
Wait a minute. I didn't know that.
I hate it. I can't. I have to cover my face. I don't want anyone seeing me. I don't want anyone seeing me asleep.
Now, is this because you are unaware of what you look like when you're sleeping, or because you are very aware of what you look like while you're sleeping?
I don't like seeing people unconscious, and I don't like people perceiving me unconscious.
Interesting, man. I don't know why this word got us in the shit today, but I want to be in this conversation all day.
I don't know what I mean, I was really scared of sleep when I was a kid. Sleep made me very anxious. I was scared about what happened to my body, like what happened to my soul, what happened to my brain. Am I going to go blind in the middle? Like, and all this time, I wasn't diagnosed with anxiety till I was 34. I was like,
that's nuts.
And like, I was just such an anxious kid. Sleep was like where a lot of my anxiety resided. And I don't know, I guess sleep has become something that I didn't do very easily. So it's become a very personal, I have a very bizarre way of falling asleep. I have to take a bath at this time. Yes, I take baths. I have to take a bath at this time.
You said that like it's a total embarrassment to take baths.
I mean, it's like what 7-year-olds do. I'm like, I want to do a bubble bath.
No, because you're not doing a bubble bath. You're not doing a rubber ducky or any of that nonsense. You're having a soak.
Yeah.
You're letting the joints loosen up.
Yes. And like super warm.
I haven't fit in a bathtub since 6th grade. I'm envious of you.
That's so funny.
I don't fit in a bathtub.
Yeah, you're tall. You're real tall.
For
really
viewers and listeners, I'm 6'4". It's pretty tall, but also I'm kind of like a broader build, so I feel really cramped and stuck. When I spent time in Japan, I loved it because I could fit in the bathtubs. They're very deep soakers.
Oh.
But in the States or whatever.
Now I know why you were so obsessed with Japan. It was just the baths.
Yeah, just the baths.
Just the baths.
Can you imagine somebody being my life of travel is all because one appliance is there?
Yeah.
If I was going to get fascinated with Japan for any one appliance, it would be the fancy toilets.
Oh, yeah. The fancy toilets that clean your butt.
They clean your butt. They play music.
That's beautiful.
They spray scents. They have lights.
This is what technology was meant for. I would go to a rehab clinic for sleep. I need to rehabilitate the way that I approach sleep.
And so in that rehab center for sleep, would you be trying to conquer your relationship with sleep, or would you be trying to, on a technical level, refine how it is that you sleep?
Oh, you're saying like, is it like an alcohol rehab, or is it like I broke my body rehab?
Yeah, like, you know how like sometimes when people like conquer their fears, they do exposure therapy, and it's like, I'm gonna take you to Fear Factor so you can put your hand in some spiders and then you won't be scared of spiders anymore.
I think that's the rehab I should go to, but not the one I would want to. I would want a rehab that it's like, we're gonna put a bunch of wires on your head and we figured it out. All you gotta do now is take this little pill and then you're done.
Oh, you just
I want I don't want a journey.
It sounds like you're tired of the habit you've built, the routine that you have built to get to sleep.
I love my routine. It's just like this weekend, I was at a beautiful Airbnb for my friend's bachelor party, and I slept a total of maybe 3 to 4 hours a night at this Airbnb because I didn't have all of the elements needed for my sleep.
It sounds to me then like there are elements that you can't just pack up and travel with.
No, a hotel usually has the elements I need, but a house and someone's house, like, or Airbnb usually doesn't.
You're being very vague about the elements, which...
Okay, one, I need it to be 68 degrees It needs to be cold. It needs to be cold, okay? It can't be any warmer than that because I will schwitz and wake up literally sweating through my sheets like a little tamale that's been put in a microwave, okay? I can't do it.
Great. Next.
I need a bath or a very warm shower that doesn't get my hair wet. A shower at a certain angle because I can't blow dry my hair after all that like energy, be able to go to bed.
Now,
I need to be...
I'm sorry. A shower cap doesn't solve that?
Oh, I forgot those existed. Bro, I forgot those existed.
Yeah, you got to get one.
Okay, I got to get one.
All right, that was 2. Next.
I need... Okay, before going to bed every night, I have a tiny little treadmill here in my house, like a little tiny one. And I just do a little bit of a walk to because I get super energetic at night. So a tiny bit of a walk to let go of my energy.
Okay.
And this is after the bath.
Okay.
And right after dinner. And then I need about maybe 30 minutes where I'm reading, not on my phone, reading a book.
Yeah, no, phone bad.
And then I turn on the TV and put on a show/movie that I've seen at least 2 times before. So I know what's going to happen, but I'm also a little bit interested in what's going to happen. So I'm like excited to see it, but if I fall asleep, it's okay. So for example, reruns of The Office or How I Met Your Mother or, some movies, Miss Congeniality, Grease.
All the hits.
These are all things that have been in my rotation. And I just leave it on with a timer set for 90 minutes. And that's what I need.
That's a lot of work.
When I see there's no TV in my room, I have to take out my iPad or laptop for something.
Yeah, it seems
Is this sick? See, I'm sick in the head.
I don't think it's bad to have like a routine. It just means that you're like not super like you're not going to go camping anytime soon.
I'll go camping if it's one night and the hike is so intense that I know I'm just going to pass the F out.
Yeah, see, that's the entirety of my routine is just exhaustion. I do not lay in the bed. No, come on, don't. I have a real logic.
Okay, explain this.
So I dealt with a lot of insomnia in college. I would operate on 4 hours of sleep at night for like 4 or 5 years. I wanted to break that habit because it wasn't, sustainable. And I just got into the rhythm of I will not lay in the bed, sit on the bed, do anything to do with the bedroom until it is time to go to sleep.
That's crazy, Chris.
So I just get to a place where I am so exhausted, I am falling asleep on the couch. I can't handle it anymore. And then I lay down and I'm out because I've created this association that when I lay in bed, it is sleep. And then that is countered by the moment I wake up in the morning, I have to get out of bed. I cannot linger in bed at all.
We have a completely different relationship with our beds.
I sleep the entire opposite. I create a relationship with it that my body knows when I'm there, it is for that reason and only that reason, and it is not allowed any deviation from that reason.
My bed is literally right there. It's on my left side. My bed is for me, my mattress, the thing on top of the mattress, the different pillows, the TV I chose for the bedroom, my night table, what books I have next to my night table. For me, the bed is like a sanctuary where I trick myself into falling asleep. Or I trick myself into being awake.
Yeah, it's like you really have created a ruse that suggests that you won't fall asleep tonight. You're going to enjoy yourself. You love this movie.
Oh my God, that's exactly what it is.
You're doing it the way that you do it with a toddler.
Oh my God. I'm like, I'm not going to go baby sleepy. I watch Friends. And then I fall asleep.
I want one more book. Now I want to go play with Bunny. I want to do that.
Wait, you want to hear something funny? Every time I babysit kids overnight, every single time, I have a lot of empathy for them, but then I also lack the intelligence to be like, no, these kids need to sleep. Like my nephew and niece stayed at my house for 2 nights. And the first night they were like, we're not tired. And I'm like, oh my God, I get you. You know what? I'm going to let you watch TV and then you're going to get tired. And they're like, we're not tired. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes what helps me is a little walk. You want to walk around the apartment? And they're like, we're not tired. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I understand being alone in a dark room by yourself is incredibly scary. I would hate to do it. Like, I'll just leave you my iPad. And so I left them my iPad. They stayed up till 2 a.m. They woke up at 7 because they're 8 and 4.
Yeah, they're still hardwired.
The mom was like, what happened last night? Like, they're really in a bad mood and not functioning. And I'm like, oh, they just didn't want to go to sleep. And she was like, yeah, they never want to go to sleep. Joanna, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, but I empathize though. And I never want to go to sleep and I have to trick myself.
You're the blind leading the fucking blind.
Bro.
I'm sorry to have shattered this for you.
It literally is. I'm always tricking myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't like being I like sleeping, but I don't like falling asleep.
If
It scares me.
if I was more equipped with mental faculties, I would say the next way we pivot rehab is to work this out. But
I know, and I love that you use the word pivot.
I'm not. God damn it. Have you ever had to fix or rehabilitate your like image?
Yeah, for shizzle my nizzle. I used to shop at Urban Outfitters.
Yo, okay, this is immediately going to be a thing we can bond up because I wore a lot of junk in high school that I had to atone for.
I think I'm good now. I think I figured out my personal style that'll stand the test of time. Watch me look back at pictures now and say that is atrocious. But I think in my 20s, I was trying to look like something. So I dyed my hair red. My hair is not red. My hair is brown.
Shattering illusions right now for people.
Bro, people, I'm scared to say it because I feel like I have friends that have known me since I was born, and they're like, well, you're a redhead. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, you are. I'm like, my brother, you saw me as a child with black hair. What are you talking about? But anyway, I'm no longer trying to exude coolness. I just want like comfort and like simplicity and something that really feels like me versus something that I feel tells people what I am. Like, she's a cool vibe. She's a hipster. She wears plaid. She likes beanies because she's alt. Now I'm like, I don't give a shit about that. But then I have been rehabilitating my hair. It takes a long time to get. Fun fact, the color red is the most difficult color to put in a hair follicle. And it's the most difficult color to maintain. And then it's also the most difficult color to remove.
Did you reach a point where you had just like torched your hair and it was like its health was in question?
During the pandemic, when I couldn't get my hair done professionally, I did it with box dyes.
Oh,
and,
sure.
If you look at some videos from the pandy, my hair was purple because I fucked up like the chemistry of it. I'm still suffering the consequences. I mean, I have terrible hair. You know this.
It is a wild and uncontrollable.
It's wild, uncontrollable, but then also thin and not a lot of it. So it's like it makes so much noise for how not predominant and nice it is.
Yeah, you're the worst person to have created your online identity via a green screen show.
Yeah, well, that was a huge problem.
So you're rehabilitating your hair. You have rehabilitated your visual. Well, would you define your eras of look?
I think high school was slutty MacGuffin.
I don't know that I've ever realized that you had a slutty phase.
Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. I grew up real ugly.
Okay.
I was bullied. No guy ever liked me. I was horrendous. And then when I turned 16, I got boobs. Like, I guess my butt like started being perceived, and I started looking like a woman, and I was getting like male attention for the first time in my life. And I was like, oh, I know what I have to do. I got to dress to impress. And I won. Bro, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed about this. This is so not who I am anymore. Like,
yeah, it's even as you're describing it, like, I don't think you even mentioned the ownership of boobs for 3 years of our friendship.
My first era in teenage years was I need to show the merchandise.
Yes.
And in school, in Venezuela, every school has the same uniform, and you have to wear a beige polo shirt, big and like unfitted. I used to take them to a seamstress. To get them
like snugged up,
super tight, and so you would see my midriff, and I would wear that horrendous uniform, but like
fucking
yassified,
work it,
yassified,
yeah.
Venezuelan high school uniform. And the pictures, my bro, I want you to like put them in like the YouTube version of this. I wish they didn't exist, but it's so funny now because it is like a young woman like coming to terms with like her own body and thinking that that's the main attraction.
Yeah, and you know, there's obvious like the ways that you're perceived sexually. Are you doing this for the male gaze or whatever? But like to have a point in time where you are learning more about your body and how you want to present it and how you want to own it is like perfectly valid. Even if you're embarrassed about it now.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed about it now mostly because it just doesn't feel like me.
Totally. That it was like a wild experiment that didn't have a cash out for you other than I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, like I have friends that dress super like, you know, showingly, and they still do, and it just like fits them. But for me, it just looks like the wrong look on the wrong person.
Right.
But then I started doing comedy, and I realized that like, and this is before we had all these hot comedians, because now like comedians are suddenly hot. This is brand new. Comedians were not hot.
No, everyone was needed to be a Kristen Shaw type.
Yeah. Or
It's like-
'cause, literally, if you were fuckable, it's like, you cannot make me laugh.
Yeah,
Especially as a woman. And that's what I grew up with. And so when I started doing comedy, I was like, I need to hide my body and I need to hide my femininity. So I like went through my like, what is it? Tomboy phase?
Tomboy? I mean, maybe it was tomboy. There was a lot of like unbuttoned plaid shirts, jeans, and you were like, I'm just like one of the guys.
And now I'm like, oh my God, I love a masculine blazer with a hyper feminine top and a high waisted pant and a nice boot. Like now I'm like, oh, I've mixed those two together.
You found a power suit.
Yes, the hyper femme in my high school with like the being embarrassed of my femininity. Like I'm done with both of those, and I've like mixed them into. I'm really proud of my femininity, and I love like androgynous like looks. Like I think it's really vibing. But like the perception of comedians has changed a lot.
Absolutely.
And like showing your hot self and being funny is like normalized now, but before it was not the case. So
Are you ready for a fuckable tour? You go and you start doing stand-up again. First of all, get the nightmare jitters out right now.
No, I don't need it. I don't need. Honestly, too much. That's nightmare fuel.
I already gave you too much panic. My eras of clothing were
Yes,
as
I know
follows.
some of them are Genko jeans.
Jinko.
Genko.
Yeah, so in high school, I thought I could get into like skate culture, and by that I mean I played Tony Hawk Pro Skater on the PlayStation.
Oh my God, that's so funny. But you never got on a skateboard.
Well, I couldn't afford a skateboard that was like worthy of learning.
Oh my God, you had to make it sad, Chris. I thought you were like, yeah, I'm too lazy.
I mean, I never scrounged up the money. I was too busy fucking around spinning on other things. So let's not make it too much of a pity party. But I got to like BMX and wakeboarding like as an idea of observation. And so I started wearing those clothes that ended up being a lot of Jinko jeans. And then like there was a weird crossover period where it was Jinko jeans and like SpongeBob SquarePants t-shirts.
Bro, that was a crossover I was not expecting.
It was loud and dumb. It was like, I think this was like the beginning of what they sold at Hot Topic. To be fair, this had to be like Hot Topic wear shopping.
But similarly to me, you were trying to be a billboard for a version of yourself you wanted to show.
Yeah, there was a part of me that just wanted to be like unique amongst the masses. Like growing up in Indiana, it's like every dad is a polo shirt tucked into khakis. Like that is the vibe of a middle class dad in Indiana. And so to it are the kids that are usually like in an organized sport of some sort and just wearing like gym shorts and shirt or whatever. So counterculture appealed to me just for the fact that it seemed like it was doing something different.
But the irony is that everyone dressed in that counterculture.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's all marketed and spoon-fed to you. Like to have actual counterculture is to have some investment of like uniqueness, and instead I'm just trying to copy people. So I had that era for a while, and then I dropped that. And then college, I don't know that I still got to look at. I still think it was a lot of plain t-shirts and like cargo shorts. I was a lot more cargo shorts in college.
Chris, the last time I saw you, you were wearing cargo shorts.
I was not wearing cargo shorts. How
You were
dare you
wearing-
say I was wearing cargo shorts? Did they have the pockets on the side?
Oh wait, you're right.
I had khaki shorts, probably.
They were khaki shorts.
My new era, the era that I have lived in for most of adulthood, is that the aesthetic that says, yeah, I could go try a hike.
But with a question mark.
A question mark. Because certainly, if you notice the fit, it's not fitting in a way that suggests he goes on a lot of hikes.
I think you look like someone who enjoys the occasional hike.
Occasionally I do, yeah, that's great. But otherwise, here's the worst problem is that it was until way too late in my life that I realized I should wear like large talls or like tall sized clothing.
Oh my God, you're making such a good point right now. Okay,
So
yeah,
it's like
sizing.
all of like my high school life, I just wore like t-shirts, and I would get bigger t-shirts so my torso is really long, and so they would shrink on me. They would fit weird. They would always look like little tunics on me. And then when I discovered a large tall, it was just like, finally, I can be attractive too. It was like an epiphany. Yeah. And angels came down and handed me several plaid shirts from Eddie Bauer.
I look at stuff I wore in the past and I'm like, I have an enormous torso and short legs. I didn't know that for years. And I was like trying to dress like how I saw hot celebrities dress, and I would look terrible. And I'm like, I guess I'm ugly. And it's like, no, bro, your body doesn't make sense for that.
If we need to rehabilitate anything in this world, it is individuals' relationships with a tailor or someone that says clothes get to be unique to you.
Yeah. Okay, wait. I found a picture of me in high school.
I will put it in the video feed. Oh shit! Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know?
I have another one.
Oh,
That's
wow.
somehow worse.
That outfit, I just want to label that outfit for
Yes.
listeners who can't see it. That outfit suggested you wanted to gain a reputation for having decent blowjobs.
Oh my God, Kris. Don't say that.
I'm not saying that it succeeded.
Decent hand jobs. Okay, this one is okay. I am like actually contemplating not showing this.
No, I gotta see it.
It is truly everything about this is a cry for help.
If I find out this way you have a tramp stamp, this is going to be the best episode of content we've
No,
ever
thank God I did not get it. Okay, wait, look at my leg. Okay, so I am wearing a tube top that, by the way, as I previously stated, my torso is enormous. So this tube dress barely covered my pubic area.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I have a belt almost where the dress ends.
It is precariously close to the end.
And then I'm wearing a brown bra that you can see. And in this picture, for some reason, I was like, I need to take a picture with a snowboard.
No, not even take it back. I need to straddle a snowboard.
I need to straddle a snowboard and in front of a Venezuelan flag.
What a patriot.
It is, this, for example, I think is like, this is for the male gaze.
Yeah, you didn't have that on your mind yet as like a conscious thing you were doing.
No, also, I said male gaze to my mom the other day, and she was like, what about men who are gay? And I'm like, no, the male gaze.
In quotes, the male gaze. Is that a topic of conversation with your mom that she just like can't compute? Because like your mom, for those who have not met your mom before, is like attractive and a person who like has spent her life knowing she's very attractive.
Yeah, like when I used to meet my mom's friends back in the day, they'd be like, what a bummer that you're not as beautiful as your mother. And I would be like, wow, okay. She's also very smart and has a great personality. So it wasn't like, oh, well, my mom is dumb. No, she's super smart on top of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's very coquette. She's very coqueta.
Oh, I don't think I know that word.
Coqueta. Coquette. Oh. She's 73 and like, we went out to the mall the other day. Okay? And I felt like a mother to a teenage daughter because my mom was wearing a sports bra, a mini jean skirt, and like a little sweater and like sandals. And I was like, Mom, what are you wearing? And she's like, I'm in the Berkshire. This is how I dress here because I'm a natural woman. I'm like, your entire abdomen and your legs are out, and we're going indoors.
You are the bodies exhibit right now.
But I feel like she just like, for her, it like, she feels sexy and like in control. If I wore that, I'd be like, this is wrong.
Are you projecting your shame onto her, or are you like just trying to yuck her yum because it's your mom and you don't want her to present that way?
I don't mind her. I was just kind of like, what is happening? This feels incongruous. I'm like, what? You know, because she's like, oh, now I'm old. And I'm like, I'm just old now. And I'm like, you clearly don't think it. Because you're dressing like you're 16 and hoping to see your crush.
Someone doth protest too much.
It do be like that. But she would never shame me for anything I wore.
That's good.
She was like, yes, like dress to impress. And, like, you're beautiful and young. And then my grandpa would yell at me every time he saw me.
Sure. They're just in an age bracket.
He's like, you're a disgrace. Like, what are you wearing? And I'm like, cowboy boots, a mini t-shirt, and a little tiny mini jeans skirt. Just like what my mom was wearing, basically.
He just hands you a snowboard and says, this will improve it.
Please cover it. Please cover yourself.
You like your grandpa, so you're not going to have much to say
I
about
love
that.
my grandpa.
Yeah. I think it's always funny when people try to make sure very old people learn how to speak in the modern world a little bit. I always find it to be like a futile exercise. Like, like the older, like my grandfather respected the man in many ways, loved the man, got a lot out of him. He was like very casually racist a lot. And my mom never corrected it. And I was aware of what racism was. And I knew that it was like not good. But I don't know that I ever felt any power or like need to he's old. I don't know how, he's going to die soon. And it's like, I don't know what we're trying to fix this for.
You can't rehabilitate people after a certain age. I'm not going to change my grandfather. And I sure as hell didn't change my grandmothers and my other grandpa. that's not an investment worth the return.
There's no payout.
There's going to be
all.
no payout. You're just working for free. You're interning. I think I'm like constantly rehabilitating the way I perceive the world and how I like see things and my opinions about things.
Yeah.
But I guess there comes a point where you're like, this is just it. I'm not going to, I'm done.
What do you think is the age? Are you going to allow yourself a number that says, I hit this age and I stop?
I don't think I'm the personality. I feel like I'm the type of person that like I'm listening to the top Spotify hits, even though I don't like them, just so I know what the youth's like.
You're chasing it. You're still chasing.
I'm chasing it, and I want to like talk about Charlie XCX, and I like, I think there's just gonna come a point where the cultural difference between me and my grandchildren is so large.
Yes.
That I'm probably gonna be like, you honestly like. I'm going to have a burger and
Yeah.
you're going to tell me that this is animal abuse and cruelty. And it is. But I grew up with a burger and I'm going to eat it.
Specifically to burger, someone told me once that like it is believed, there's like this thought that eating meat could be to the future generation what smoking was to our generation, whereas like people still did it, but in general we had like a view of dirtiness about if you smoked.
I think I told you this.
Did you tell me this? It's
Yeah.
like, I do think about that. My partner is vegetarian. I cook a lot of vegetarian in my house. My daughter she'll eat tofu before she'll eat a chicken nugget. Like things are progressing in that way. Man, do I still love cooking with meat, eating meat.
I will never not be a carnivore. I'm sorry, bro. If you tell me you need to have a piece of steak tonight at 11 p.m., I'm like, that sounds perfect. I'll digest it. I'll feel good. When it's like I have to have pasta or like a dessert, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this for too long. Like my body doesn't process it. I love a good piece of meat.
And I think I've just claimed that now to say that like, I think this is the part that I'm going to calcify in my brain is like, I'm going to get old and die unchanged in this way.
This part you won't rehabilitate.
You're not going to fix this.
I don't think I'm going to rehabilitate the way that I sleep. I think I'm just going to become more persnickety and more complicated in my sleep.
Persnickety is a good word. Why did we pull persnickety?
Because it's a random word generator and there's endless options, baby.
I've said professionally, I'm like, I think TikTok's the last video platform I'm going to learn. I'm not going to learn whatever's next.
I like barely learn TikTok and that's bad.
When my daughter installs her brain bean and everything gets projected via the brain bean, I don't think I'm going to participate in that. I think I'll just step out and be like, this is for the youth, not me.
I'm going to try it.
You're going to try it?
I'm going to try it. I'm going to be a 60-year-old influencer on Brain Bean.
I guess I should project more clearly. I'm thinking of it as like the next thing is going to be installed technology in our brains that just like beam
Yeah,
stuff.
but I'm going to be an influencer on that Brain Bean.
Okay, so I don't even have to ask the question, would you even do it?
Oh, 100%. I'm down to try anything. I think I went through a phase recently, like a few years ago, where I was like, I'm not going to get on TikTok. I'm not going to get on this stuff. And then my boss, who's 62 and is a huge TikTok influencer, told me, because I was like, I don't like listening to new songs. I like my music. And he's like, that's the first step of aging. The first step of aging is just calcifying yourself into your gustos, your tastes.
Yeah.
And not being open to other stuff. You need to learn about what people find popular, especially if you're writing TV and making comedy. You got to know.
Oh.
Damn. Are you like, oh, God, I wanted to be a curmudgeon old man, and now I guess I got to be open-minded.
No, I'm still going to be a curmudgeon old man.
That's true. You're going to be so good at it. You're going to be so good at it.
At a certain point, the bit becomes reality, and then the reality becomes a bit again. As long as I keep committing, it's all going to come around. You are not fixing me.
You're going to become more old, and I'm going to become more delusional in my youth. I'm going to think I'm young my whole life.
Because you installed the brain bean, and it's leaking.
Absolutely. Miss Brain Bean.
So what, is that a beauty pageant that you're going to win on Brain Bean?
Yeah.
The beauty of like the Brain Bean beauty contest is that it's the beauty of your mind. It's not about your body anymore.
Wow, that would be full circle from my teenage youth.
It would be everything. What a plot. Write it down.
I will. And then I'm going to throw it in the trash.
Good. Good talking to you, Joanna.